act to provide social security protection to e-hailing workers. Malaysian Youth Council to get RM5 million annual allocation. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah met with Prince of Monaco, Prince Albert II, in a courtesy call at the Palace of Monaco on Saturday. Now, according to a post on the Istana Negara Facebook page today, His Majesty was welcomed on arrival at the Palace of Monaco by Prince Albert II at 10:30 a.m. local time or 4:30 p.m. Malaysian time. After the meeting, both Al-Sultan Abdullah and Prince Albert II attended the launching ceremony of the Rover Lunar Flex all-purpose vehicle at the headquarters of Venturi, an automated vehicle manufacturer based in Monaco. Prince Albert II officiated the ceremony, which was also attended by the Prime Minister of Monaco, Sergei Tele, and the owner and CEO of Venturi, Gildo Pastor. Al-Sultan Abdullah was then given a briefing on the Lunar Flex rover, which is expected to start operating and be used on the moon in 2026 and was exhibited to the public for the first time on Saturday. The King is currently on a 5-day special visit to Monaco until 30th of May at the invitation of Prince Albert II. Now, the government plans to formulate an act to provide social security protection to e-hailing workers. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said that he had discussed with Human Resources Minister V. Sivakumar for the matter to be refined to meet the needs of employers and employees.
Dan kita akan perincikan akta dan ini akan mengambil masa yang agak panjang kerana ianya melibatkan penglibatan Jabatan Keluarga Negara, komen daripada beberapa NGO dan persatuan-persatuan yang terlibat dengan industri e-hailing ini. Yang penting asasnya ialah jaminan masa depan mereka.
He said this after officiating the closing ceremony of the My Future Jobs Career Carnival 2023 in Hutang Melintang, Bagan Datuk today. In the meantime, Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said e-hailing workers should be protected not only with insurance but also with perks and benefits. He said there is a need to study the new law to be enacted to safeguard gig workers, especially after the pandemic where some people had to quit their jobs and others were laid off. The Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today announced a RM5 million annual allocation for the Malaysian Youth Council, or MBM, to empower young people. Now, he said the move was in recognition of the hard work and seriousness of MBM leadership led by its president, Muhammad Izzat Afifi Abdul Hamid, in supporting the Malaysia Madani concept.
Kita bantu sekadar yang mampu. Tetapi oleh kerana memandangkan saudara Izzat Izzat Afifi dan rakan-rakan menunjukkan kesungguhan mereka termasuk dalam menjayakan negara madani dengan keyakinan, dengan ilmu, dengan nilai, dengan ihsan, maka saya setuju supaya diberikan peruntukan RM5 juta.
He said this in his speech at the National Youth Day 2023 celebration at the Port Dickson District and Land Office Field today. Also present were Negeri Sembilan Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Aminuddin Harun and Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh. At today's event, the Prime Minister also launched the Madani Youth Development Model 2030, or the MPBM 2030, which complements the Malaysian Youth Policy. MPBM 2030 was developed based on the aspirations of the youth affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, emphasizing 4 thrusts, 11 objectives, 14 strategies, and 39 initiatives. Now, this model aims to produce dynamic, competent, competitive, and resilient youth citizens in facing current and future challenges. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister proposed that government-linked companies like Khazanah Nasional Berhad and Petronas be involved in youth training programs focusing on leadership. Datuk Seri Anwar said he would bring the proposal related to training programs at youth training institutes under the Youth and Sports Ministry to the Cabinet for approval soon.
Saya akan bawa untuk pertimbangan Jemaah Menteri dalam masa singkat, dan saya percaya Hana dan Adam boleh peringatkan supaya agensi-agensi terlibat, baik Perkeso, baik Khazanah, baik Petronas, turut terlibat dalam program latihan di institut latihan beliau di bawah KBS.
At a separate event, Datuk Seri Anwar said the media plays an important role in giving voice to the public's concerns, including those about the government. The Prime Minister said the media also holds the responsibility to shape the public's view.
Maknanya kita nak terapkan nilai, bukan pahaman sempit yang boleh melemah dan mematikan semangat atau memecah belahkan rakyat. Jadi pemupukan nilai itu penting. Dan Madani ini bagi saya istimewa atau uniknya ialah kerana penekanan tentang nilai dan akhlak itu mendasari pemikiran kita dalam bidang pembangunan, kebebasan, kewartawanan dan lain-lain.
Datuk Seri Anwar added that media practitioners should have ideas, values and principles. He said this during the 2023 National Journalists' Day or Hawana Summit at Casuarina Convention Centre in Ipoh today. The Communications and Digital Ministry, or KKD, will pay attention to the issue of copyright protection of media practitioners' works, in addition to the welfare of the group. Now, Minister Fahmi Fazil said in the era of rapid technological progress, many works produced by media practitioners, including photos, articles and content on social media, were used arbitrarily without permission. He said he received complaints that journalists' hard work had been misused and some photos had their watermarks removed. In addition, he said there is a need to discuss with social media platform providers to curb this issue.
Di peringkat organisasi media, saya lihat ada kewajaran untuk mengadakan satu perbincangan dan mungkin satu kata sepakat di mana sebagai satu kita panggil United Front lah, rakan-rakan media, dan kita boleh jemput contohnya penyedia platform media sosial untuk mendengar, mendapat pandangan dan mewujudkan satu saluran untuk terutama mengekang salah guna IP, intellectual property dari rakan-rakan wartawan.
He said at the Para Association of Media Practitioners, or PPMP, open house in Ipoh today. Also present were Deputy Communications and Digital Minister Tioni Cheng and PPMP President Syed Hisham Syed Idris. At today's event, Fahmi also announced a 10,000 ringgit contribution to PPMP to upgrade the facilities at the association's clubhouse. Coming up, Agriculture Ministry to explore saltwater rice cultivation. Entrepreneurial education should be made a core subject in secondary schools instead of being a curriculum in a bid to produce a future nation of entrepreneurs or bangsa usahawan. Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Mazlan said entrepreneurial skills cultivated during the secondary school period would churn out business-minded students armed with knowledge to chart their future economic development. Datuk Seri Ahmad, a member of the National Employment Council or NEC, said he had suggested at a meeting chaired by Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadila Yusof at Dewan Rakyat that Form 1 to Form 5 students be taught the entrepreneurial subject. Now, speaking at the Gerakan Belia 4B Malaysia's 42nd and 43rd Annual General Assembly today, he encouraged a delegation of 300 youths to take advantage of a 40 billion ringgit loans offered by the government to those wanting to kickstart businesses.
Kemudahan pinjaman dan jaminan pembiayaan, dana pembiayaan PMKS, iaitu perusahaan mikro kecil sederhana, merangkumi pinjaman langsung, pembiayaan alternatif dan jaminan pembiayaan 40 bilion ringgit.
He urged them to seek guidance when exploring business opportunities instead of going into it with no direction, which would result into failure. Datuk Sri Ahmad advised them to go into blue ocean strategy businesses, devise good marketing strategies, sell out-of-the-box products, and go heavy on e-commerce. Now, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, or KPKM, intends to explore saltwater rice cultivation methods in an effort to increase the country's rice production in the future. Now, KPKM Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu said his office had held discussions with relevant experts, including professors in China, regarding the technology that could be used for producing rice in this country.
Ini di peringkat awal sekarang ni, sedang di peringkat perbincangan supaya kita boleh kawasan-kawasan di tepi laut yang air masih naik itu tidak dibiarkan menjadi tanah haram, boleh digunakan akan datang dengan teknologi dan pandangan-pandangan yang akan kita minta pandangan expert daripada luar. Bagaimana mereka berjaya, bukan mereka berjaya sehari, mereka buat kajian 4 tahun. 4 tahun ni kita ambil lah cara setahun 2 kali, 8 musim. Baru dia dapat benih yang sesuai. Ini kita akan terus-teruskan. Tak ada sebab Malaysia tak boleh self-sufficient dalam beras pada masa akan datang.
He said this at a press conference after an engagement session with Harum Manis Kodiang entrepreneurs at the Harum Manis Farm Collection Centre, Kampung Pida 3, Kodiang, near Jitra today. Datuk Sri Muhammad added that the issue of irrigation and care are among factors for low yield of rice production in Kedah compared to Sekinchan Selangor, thus requiring effective action to increase rice yield in the rice bowl state. He said the method of planting rice through a large-scale scheme such as in Sekinchan can be practiced by rice farmers in Kedah in an effort to produce additional rice with the help and cooperation of the Muda Agricultural Development Authority, or MADA, and Padi Beras Nasional Berhad, or Bernas. Now, the Ipoh City Council, or MBI, will implement the No Plastic Bag campaign, in which 20 cent will be charged for the use of a plastic bag on Saturdays beginning 1st of June. Ipoh Mayor Datuk Rumaizi Bahrin said the campaign aims to reduce single-use plastics in Ipoh to ensure environmental sustainability. He said the licensing department, in collaboration with the MBI Environmental Health Department, held an engagement session with 120 traders last May 18th, and as a result, 22 business premises registered as plastic bag-free premises. The premises include hypermarkets, supermarkets, convenience stores, fast food restaurants, chain stores and pharmacies. The campaign involves 1,378 premises, and the collection of plastic bag charges will be conducted through the issuance of additional conditions in the business license or permit. In a statement today, Datuk Rumaizi said the campaign was also implemented to support the roadmap towards zero single-use plastics 2018 to 2030. He said the collection of the 20-cent charge would be handed over to MBI to be used to implement environmental sustainability programs for school students and the general public, as well as recycling campaigns. Coming up in our foreign segment, Turkey votes in runoff as Erdogan well placed to sustain rule. Indian police today detained several wrestlers, including Olympic medalists, as well as dozens of their supporters, as they attempted to march to Parliament in New Delhi. A group of wrestlers have held a sit-in since last month, demanding the arrest of Brij Bhushan Singh, the Wrestling Federation chief, over allegations of sexual harassment and intimidation. On Sunday, the wrestlers attempted to march to India's new parliament just as it was being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but they were halted by hundreds of police. Among those detained and hauled away into buses were Olympic bronze medalists Sakshi Malik and Bajrang Punia. Security in the national capital was tightened ahead of the inauguration of the new parliament building by Modi. Personnel also stood guard on the borders of Delhi after a group of farmers attempted to enter the city to support the protesting wrestlers. Earlier this month, dozens of farmers broke down police barricades in the city to join the protest. Wrestling Federation chief Bhushan Singh, who is from Modi's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, has denied the accusations. At least 11 people have been killed after an avalanche hit members of a nomadic tribe as they crossed a mountainous area in northern Pakistan. In a statement, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said such incidents are rising in Pakistan due to the impact of climate change. Now, the incident took place near the Shaunta Pass that connects the Gilgit-Baltistan region with Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Senior police officer Ziarat Ali said 4 women and a 4-year-old boy were among the dead. The nomads were taking their herds of goats on foot from the Kel area of Azad Kashmir to Astore when they were caught in the avalanche of snow in the early morning hours. The Disaster Management Agency said the bodies of the victims have been recovered, adding that 13 injured, including a child, were taken to a local hospital in critical condition. Rescue official Suba Khan said the group consisted of approximately 35 nomads in total. Initial assessments suggested up to 15 head of cattle also died. Harsh weather conditions hampered the rescue operation and made access to the remote scene difficult. Now, Russia unleashed waves of airstrikes on Kiev this morning in what officials said appeared to be the largest drone attack in the city since the start of the war, as the Ukrainian capital prepared to celebrate the anniversary of its founding. Now, Ukraine's Air Force said it downed about 52 out of the 54 Russian-launched drones, calling it a record attack with the Iranian-made kamikaze drones. In what also appears to be the first deadly attack on Kiev in May and the 14th assault this month, falling debris killed a 41-year-old man. In the Holosivsky district in the southwestern part of Kiev, falling debris set a 3-story warehouse on fire, destroying about 1,000 square meters of building structures. The pre-dawn attacks came on last Sunday of May, when the capital celebrates Kiev Day and the anniversary of its official founding, 1,541 years ago. Now, Air Force said on Telegram that Russia had targeted military and critical infrastructure facilities in the central regions of Ukraine and the Kiev region in particular. The Turks were voting today in a presidential runoff that could see President Recep Tayyip Erdogan extend his rule into a third decade and persist with Turkey's current path, muscular foreign policy and unorthodox economic governance. Erdogan, 69, defied opinion polls and came out comfortably ahead with an almost 5-point lead over his rival Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu in the first round on the 14th of May. But he fell just short of the 50% needed to avoid a runoff in a race with profound consequences for Turkey itself and global geopolitics. His unexpectedly strong showing amid a deep cost of living crisis and a win in parliamentary elections for a coalition of his conservative AK party or AKP, the nationalist MHP and others, buoyed the veteran campaigner who says a vote for him is a vote for stability. The election will decide not only who leads Turkey, a NATO member country of 85 million, but also how it is governed, where its economy is headed after its currency plunged into 1/10 of its value against the dollar in a decade, and the shape of its foreign policy, which has seen Turkey irk the West by cultivating ties with Russia and the Gulf states. Coming up in sport, Pearly Tina go down fighting in dramatic Malaysia Masters final. Now, the nation's top women's doubles pair, Pearly Tan and M. Tina, missed out a glorious chance to bag their first title on home turf after going down to South Korea's Big Hana and Lee Soo-hee in the Malaysia Masters 2023 final at the Axiata Arena today. Now, Pearly and Tina got off to a shaky start as they were behind 4-6 before things turned to get anxious for them when the umpire stopped the game for 4 minutes to allow Pearly to seek medical treatment due to an injury on her left when the Malaysians led 19-16. Now, the Koreans then took advantage of the situation to chase the score and close out the opening game 22-20 to win. Now, deafening cheers from home fans inside nearly packed Axiata Arena pumped up Pearly and Tina's spirits as they were in cruise control from start to finish in the second set to force the game into decider after roaring past Hana and Soo-hee 21-8. Now, after trailing 10-16 in the final set, the six seeds stretched themselves to the limit while Hana and Soo-hee stood firm to fend off Pearly and Tina's last-ditch effort to stage a comeback as Lady Luck was on the unseeded South Korean side as they secured the title after a 21-17 victory in a nail-biting contest that lasted 101 minutes. Let's take a look at football. Muhammad Faisal Abdul Halim starred with 3 assists to help Selangor FC beat Negeri Sembilan FC 3-1 and qualify for the FA Cup semi-finals at the Tuanku Abdul Rahman Stadium in Paroi last night. Took just 43 seconds for the quarter-final game to explode into life as Negeri Sembilan shot ahead with a header by Muhammad Safuwan Baharudin. However, their joy was short-lived as the visitors equalised in the 3rd minute when skipper Muhammad Mukairi Ashmal Mahadi thundered home a powerful shot after receiving a perfect pass from Faisal Halim. 5-time FA Cup champion Selangor then made it 2-1 in the 60th minute when Brazilian Johandre Jose Orozco let fly a powerful shot of a neat cross from Faisal Halim. The Red Giants, under the helm of coach Tan Cheng Ho, confirmed their semi-final berth in style when Orozco notched his second and the team's 3rd goal in the 87th minute, courtesy of another brilliant pass from Faisal Halim. The Cheng Ho's men will now meet either defending champions Johor Darul Takzim JDT or Penang FC, who will square off in another quarter-final tie at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium in Iskandar Putri, Johor. Finalists Terengganu FC or TFC also qualified for the FA Cup semi-finals after downing Kelantan FC 4-2 at the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium. In the quarter-final tie played in front of 5,000 spectators, home team TFC opened the scoring through defender Muhammad Azam Azmi Murad, who let fly from inside the box in the 17th minute. A TFC coached by Tomislav Steinbruckner thought they had scored a second goal in the 28th minute, but Croatian import Ivan Mahmud's effort was ruled offside by the referee. However, Ivan made amends for that when he put TFC 2-0 up in the 41st minute with a cracker from outside the box. The Red Warriors, however, narrowed the deficit through Nigerian striker Ismail Akinade in the 45th minute. In the second half, Sony Norde restored the Turtles' 2-goal lead when he made it 3-1 in the 52nd minute. Kelantan under coach Frank Bernhardt again closed the gap when Akinade slotted home a penalty in the 64th minute after Sharul Nizam Ros Hasni was penalised for tugging Mario Blasco's jersey. Now, just when the game seemed headed to end 3-2, TFC substitute Shafiq Ismail popped up with goal number 4 to confirm his team's place in the semi-finals. On to the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund's dream of their first league title in 11 years were dashed after a shocking 2-2 home draw to Mainz dropped them to second place on goal difference in the season finale, handing the title to rivals Bayern Munich. With a sea of tens of thousands of yellow and black-clad fans out for a winner, with the players left lying on the grass, their heads in their hands and tears in their eyes for the missed title shot. And that's it for Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, new act to provide social security protection to e-hailing workers. We leave you with visuals from Peru's Clown Day celebrations, where dancing, jokes and smiles flooded the streets of downtown Lima. I'm Jessica Lee, Malaysia Madani, tekad penuhi harapan. Good night.
Está mal, está triste, le damos alegría. Cuando el ambiente se pone tenso, la política, cuando no alcanza el dinero, le damos alegría al público. Payaso.